Hello, my name is Raymond Medici. Welcome to our Mycology Workshop Series. This workshop series is sponsored by Uncle Jay's Premium Picks. Uncle Jay's Premium Picks is our spore vending company. We have made it our personal mission to provide clean, high-quality spore samples for microscopy research to all of our beginner mycology enthusiasts around the world. We created this video series to help our customers understand all the processes from beginning to end and give them the confidence to share this knowledge with their friends and family. We're going to do a agar prep video to begin this series. Agar is a very important part of mycology and allows you to germinate spores in a medium that will show you contamination if there is any to worry about and let you clean up cultures and sector off healthy aggressive mycelium so that when you go to take your agar to grain, you will have a higher success rate. We have all of our ingredients weighed out. There is 20 grams of agar in this recipe, 8 grams of malt extract in this recipe, 6 grams of turbinado sugar, raw sugar, and then 0.5 of nutritional yeast. Our water is cold. We have 1 liter of water in a saucepan. We're going to add the ingredients to our water while our water is still cold or warm. You just don't want your water to be hot. It causes your ingredients to clump. During this video series, I'm going to explain in great detail why we are using different things and the purposes of them and the benefits of them in your process. You can see I added all the ingredients at the exact same time, and I'm going to stir them really nicely and then turn my saucepan up. You're going to want to stir this gently until your agar froths or just before boil, and then you're going to take it off and you're going to pour it into your jars or your media bottles. Your jars or your media bottles will allow you to hold the agar so that you can put it in your pressure cooker. You pressure cook your agar at 15 psi for 25 minutes. This will sterilize your agar and ensure that your agar is completely clean and sterile so that when you go to pour plates, you will have nice, clean, sterile agar to use when you get to the stage of germinating your agar with spores. The first part of this video series will involve this agar prep, still airbox prep, sterile tech, and grain prep. The second half of this series is going to be agar to grain to grain, and some more sterile tech. The fourth part of the series is bulk substrate prep. Fifth part of the series is spawn to bulk substrate. In the sixth and last part of the series, we will discuss fruiting conditions, temperature, fair air exchange or fresh air exchange, and relative humidity. All these things are important when you get to your fruiting conditions and will ensure you a bountiful harvest. This agar recipe is really great, and our cultures perform really well on it and is also really awesome for germinating spores. All right, we're getting this stirred in really nicely. This hot plate works really well. It's almost ready to pour into the jars. We can put the lids on and we can get our pressure cooker on the hot plate and get ready for the next step in the series. All right. You want to make sure that your ingredients melt really nicely so that you don't have any sediment in your agar when you go to pour. That happens a lot to people, and it's really not that big of a deal, but it doesn't look that great. Okay, we're going to pour into our jars. A lot of times people like to add food coloring to their agar. Makes it look nice. It doesn't do much for you as far as feeding your cultures or helping your agar being more clean or anything like that. It's definitely just an aesthetic thing. So we have our pressure cooker. We're going to set on top of our hot plate. Make sure it's lined up nicely. I'm going to take the rocker off, set it to the side. Going to put our lids on our agar. We have filled up the pressure cooker with about 2 inches to 2.5 inches of water. That usually ends up being about 1 liter to 1.5 liters. You place your agar jars in your pressure cooker, and then you can put the lid on right away. You leave your rocker off until steam starts coming out of your pressure cooker vent. When steam starts coming out of your pressure cooker vent, you put your rocker on. Leave your rocker on there for the duration of your cooking time. You do not take it off until your pressure cooker is depressurized completely. That is a safety thing. It will also keep you from popping your jars. It's a very common thing. People don't think about it. They get in a hurry. They take their rocker off. They pop their jars. They blow their pressure cooker up. You want to be really safe with your pressure cooker. It is a really awesome tool to have, and you're going to need it for a lot of the other steps in this workshop series. So we have our hot plate on high. We're going to wait till this steams. We're going to place the rocker on. As soon as this pressure gauge hits 15 psi, we're going to set a timer for 25 minutes. We're going to let this run for 25 minutes. After it runs for 25 minutes, we're going to turn our hot plate off or turn our stovetop off, and then we're going to let our PC cool down and depressurize naturally, and then come to it. Once this little indicator or pressure indicator goes all the way down, then you can take your lid off and you can take your agar out and get it ready to cool.